Well, they go from a midfield dodging type presence on offense to giving the ball to Steele Stanwyck. He's their quarterback. He's probably the best distributor in the country. And a 1-2 punch at attack with Chris Bocklett might be the best in the country. You have Stanwyck, the passer, pinpoint accuracy with those feeds. Bocklett, the shooter and the scorer. I think these two need to put up huge numbers to stage the upset.
Meanwhile, Cornell has Tewaaraton Trophy finalist and probably Tewaaraton Trophy favorite in Rob Pennell. But we forget, Pennell's got a lot of help.
So much attention on the nation's top player, Rob Pennell. The trio of David Lau, Stevie Mock, and Roy Lang need to make their presence felt. All three over 25 goals on the season. Expect UVA to defend in schemes, which will open seams for that trio and cash in.
Quarterfinal action about to get underway from Hempstead, New York. It's Cornell and Virginia. We sent it out to Eamon.
The NCAA Lacrosse Championships are presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Long Island is one of the greatest hotbeds for the sport of lacrosse, and the fans are out in full force today. And the action starts with the 2-seed Cornell taking on 7th-seeded Virginia. The Cavs and Cornell and Big Red will battle it out to determine who will be the first team to go to Baltimore, and this is the first of 4 games on the ESPN networks this weekend. It starts with Cornell and Virginia. That will be followed by Johns Hopkins against Denver. Then on Sunday, the action shifts to New England and ESPNU as the top-seeded Syracuse Orange take on Maryland, and then a rematch of last year's national championship game between Notre Dame and Duke. Hello and welcome to Hempstead, New York. I'm Eamon McEnany, along with the All-American goalie out of Johns Hopkins, Quint Kesnick. And Quint.
Meanwhile, Virginia, Steele Stanwyck, also a junior, conductor of the Cavalier Offensive Symphony. He can distribute the rock, a great passer. He's healthy now. Fleet feet dodging to the net, can generate his own shot. And he can read the defense and find the open man against Bucknell. He contributed in 6 of the last 7 goals. Virginia's win in the comeback, fueled by the nerves of Steele.
Our Warrior Impact players, both finalists for the Tewaaraton Trophy for Player of the Year. Now, if Dom Starja picks up a victory today, the Virginia head coach will become the all-time leader in wins, passing Jack Emmer with 327. And moments ago, our field reporter Mark Dixon caught up with Coach Starja.
Coach Starja, you're in the brink of becoming the all-time winningest coach in Division I lacrosse history. Your team has a chance to advance their 4th consecutive championship weekend. What best describes your thoughts right now?
Well, that's the whole thing is a little bit humbling, a little overwhelming at the same time, Mark. I just haven't had a chance to kind of put it all together, you know. My family's at home watching. You think of the sacrifices that they've had to put up with, the things they've had to do for me to be able to do this for this length of time. There are so many people that I would need to consider. You know, just being in a sentence with Jack Emmer and Jim Adams and Dick Garber and names like that is a little bit humbling.
Dom grew up in Valley Stream, Long Island, less than 10 miles away from this field. Cornell in the home white, Virginia in the road blue. Garrett Ince, number 15, taking the face-off for the Cavaliers. Doug Tesoriero, number 16 for Cornell, doing the honors. Cornell has been to 2 straight Final Fours. Virginia 3. Someone's season is coming up short, and we are underway from Long Island. Ince wins it forward, still loose. Picked up by Clements, and Virginia will go to work on the offensive end first. This is Matt White. He scored the game winner in overtime a week ago against Bucknell. Now, Chris Bocklett, number 10 with the ball. He is guarded by the sophomore Mike Bronzino. This is Rob Emery. Cornell pressuring out on the ball. Colin Briggs now being guarded by Noble. So a little wrinkle here now. Looks like Cornell will double pole the Virginia midfield, Quint.
Not a surprise. This is a Cornell defense, typically that likes to slide or double team early from the adjacent man.
Yard sale in Hempstead as Briggs loses his stick.
There is a flea market at Roosevelt Field on Sundays. Impressed with Cornell's perimeter defense. Didn't give a cushion on the perimeter to the Virginia midfielders.
Way back in January and February, that was a question mark. A very young defensive unit, but a very talented one as well. So now the Big Red, the strength at the attack. This is Stevie Mock. In the nets today, Adam Gittleman, a senior from Long Island. A.J. Fiore, a sophomore out of Ithaca, New York for Cornell. Gittleman with a strong performance in the overtime victory against Bucknell, making 13 saves. And an unforced error as Roy Lang was trying to get the ball to Pinnell. So both teams a little shaky on the offensive end to start. There's a look at Rob Pinnell. If the season were to end today, he would be your player of the year.
And you see the nerves coming to the surface. This is the payoff round. Nobody remembers quarterfinal losers. Winner advances to championship weekend to play in front of 60,000 fans.
So what are the keys for Virginia to make it back to another championship weekend?
Well, shooting efficiency is so important. In their wins, they shoot about 34%. In their losses, they only shoot 26%. And then guarding Rob Pinnell, whether they play zone or man.
Virginia getting cute, and they are about to pay. Sloppy, 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 and Pinnell is there to cash in for the gift goal. Some reason Adam Gittleman threw a bounce pass back on the clear, and it was mishandled.
Talk about two teams who have come out and really have not looked like themselves. Cornell throws the ball out of bounds blatantly. Gittleman bounces the ball to Haldy, and that ball's going to come off the carpet with some spin. Haldy can't handle. Pinnell's there. The riding game, like forechecking in hockey, an easy layup for Pinnell.
He's tough enough to cover in 6-on-6, let alone with a gift like that. So pretty easily, he now has a point in all 52 games of his Cornell career. The same two guys go at it at the X. LaPierre turns it to pick up the ground ball.
Cornell is vulnerable in two areas. Facing off, where they're less than 50% this season, and between the pipes, where A.J. Fiore 9 times this year has saved less than 50%.
LaPierre, a beast in the ground ball department, picking up more than 80 this year. So now Virginia with a chance to answer as the crowd continues to file in here at Stewart Stadium on the campus of Hofstra University. Quint Cornell on defense, what are their keys?
Limit Steele Stanwyck and Chris Bocklet, 6 in blue and number 10 in blue. And then get to 50%, facing off and in the goal.
Haldy can't make the catch. Can't come up with the ground ball. Virginia not looking crisp right now, but they get it back. Good hustle by Bocklet. Bocklet can shoot it from way outside, high to high. That one was cooking with gas.
Virginia goal scored by number 10, Chris Bocklet. The goal is unassisted, ties the game at 1.
Both these teams shaky right now. Ground ball win comes up Virginia blue. Bocklet sniffs it out. He likes what he sees, and look at the cushion he receives on the perimeter. Takes that little triple hop step, turns his hips and his shoulders and lets it rip. Nice form by Bocklet. 3/4 arm, high heat, overpowers the left-hander Fiore.
He now has a goal in 34 straight games. That is the longest streak in the country for goals.
Say both teams shaky right now, not handling this stage. You just want to get through the first 5 minutes without any irreparable damage, I think, if you're both of these coaches.
So now McDermott against Tesoriero. Tesoriero wins it cleanly. But Virginia gets back.
As a player, you want to make that first play, get a touch, get a hit, settle down.
So Bray Malfors draws the assignment of Rob Pinnell. Back in March, it was Matt Lovejoy with the senior leader. Shoulder surgery back in April, out for the season. One of the reasons why Virginia kind of reinventing itself on the fly right now.
Malfors is strong and smart. Pinnell's the faster man, so Pinnell should lure him out into space.
Scott Austin with it now, looking to get inside. He's out there with J.J. Gilbane and Chris Langton, your quote-unquote second unit for the Cornell midfield. This is David Lau, Long Island native, feeding inside. Second catch made, Stevie Mock. Johnny on the spot, gives Cornell the lead back.
By number 6, Steve Mock, the assist. Number 7, David Lau. Cornell leads 2-1.
Initial defense by Virginia on the left-handed cut was pretty darn good. You'll see Lau press the corner, looking for Gilbane, 25 in white. Well defended. but the second man follows in the errant pass. I'll tell you, when you're inside today in this quarterfinal round and tomorrow, such skillful finishers, you got to be face to face, you got to be eye to eye and in their hands.
Quint, you mentioned in our open the improved play of Rob Pinnell's wingmen. In that meeting in March, David Lau, Stevie Mock just getting healthy and returning to the lineup. Tesorio, good trail check as he was going in on Gittleman.
Tell you, this young freshman face-off man, 12 of 18 against Harvard, and then 10 of 19 last week against Hartford, giving the Big Red some hope at generating more possessions off the draw.
And that was a serious question mark going into that showdown last week in the first round. Tim Fallon for the Redhawks, one of the best in the country. This is Roy Lang. He draws the pole. Wyatt Meltzer on him. Lang, a lefty, out of San Francisco. Look at the strength, losing it now. On the carpet, picked up by Harry Previs. Virginia sets up the clear. Previs sends it over to Scott McWilliams. And Quint, we touched on it in the open. Virginia, this is not the Virginia team that was picked by some to be a top 5, top 2 team back at the beginning of the season.
Chemistry issues with Shamel and Ramel Bratton. Injury issues on the defensive half of the field with Matt Lovejoy, their best cover man, going down with a shoulder injury. Gotta like what you've seen the last 2 weeks. They end the season with a win over Penn, 11-2, and then they show some courage and come from behind to take down Bucknell last week at home.
Well, back in March, the first line were the Brattons and John Haldy, now Emery and Briggs out there with the senior out of Philadelphia, and that pass telegraphed and knocked down. There's a reason why Roy Lang knows Rob Emery's game. They were high school teammates. But back to the main storyline right now, one of them for Virginia.
And you see this show up in 2 areas. With Shamel Bratton, we see his absence from a midfield dodging standpoint. Colin Briggs now draws the long pole and cannot get the kind of penetration. Shamel was almost an automatic double team, and the defense got in motion, and that really opened up looks from other folks. They missed Ramel in the transition game from defense to offense.
Briggs gets underneath, sees the slide coming and retreats. Good team defense there. Cornell is ready to come out and challenge the Virginia midfield.
Exactly. Very aggressive on the perimeter.
So now Stanwick being guarded by Max Feely. Baltimore against Washington, D.C. here. Loyola Blakefield being guarded by the Landon School. Back in March, Stanwick, 0 points. That does not happen very often.
Feely does an excellent job maintaining the matchup, working through that pick by hedging and stepping back.
Now Bachlet is going to go to work on the short stick. Shane O'Neill. Bachlet has one already. The quick slide from Bronzino. Can they find the open man? Briggs moving in for a better angle. That shot gets blocked. Good ground ball by Bronzino. Bronzino over to Trasolini.
Tell you, between Bronzino, Noble, and Feely, they've scooped up 155 ground balls this season. Cornell has the best defensive ground ball team of the 8 teams remaining in the quarterfinals. That ball's on the ground off a turnover, boom, comes up white, and it's cleared.
Noble leading the way of that trio with 69 coming in. Bronzino, 54. So again, it is the second group, Gilbane, Langton, out there that produced a goal. Langton, nobody picks him up. He blows that one by Gittleman. Miscommunication on the defensive end leads to a goal for number 1.
This season, towards the second half of the year, Virginia's used 2 defenses, a man and a zone. This looked like a situation where the midfielder on the ball thought it was a zone and thought there was help coming. Did not think that Virginia was set. You said miscommunication. If Virginia plays a zone, it's a straight 3-3 zone.
Langton turning on the speed there. In high school, he was an all-state shuttle hurdler relay out of New England. Northfield Mount Hermon. Bobby Hill picks up the ground ball for Virginia. Noble all over him. Hill in trouble. He needs help. Tiptoes down the sideline and gets a step. And gets it to Ince for relief.
See, Cornell will not back down in any of these skirmishes in the middle of the field. Scenario that Virginia is renowned at being bigger, faster, and stronger than their opponents. Cornell's going to stand toe-to-toe.
What quick adjustments does Virginia need to make here on the offensive end, 6-on-6?
Well, I like it when the ball's behind the goal with Stanwyck and Bachlet and White. I just don't see these midfielders as having the ability to penetrate. Other than Colin Briggs, he's not on the field right now, and he's drawing a quick double team.
This is the second group that really did not see much time at the beginning of the year. This is Mark Cockerton, Harbison, number 11, and now Matt Kugler with the ball. And they continue to double pole the midfield. Cockerton is up there as well. Now Kugler sends it behind.
I like this. Everything's got to go through 6 and blue. Steele Stanwyck.
Feely all over him. Under 7 minutes to play in the first quarter. Stanwyck gets underneath. Sees the slide. Now picked up by a shorty, but they recover. Feet up top. Good closeout on Kugler. Catch made by Cockerton. Kick save by Fiore. A player with the skills of Mark Cockerton does not get denied that often when he's that close.
Exceptional offense by Virginia. Starts with Stanwyck drawing the crowd. The through pass. Defense is on the ropes, but Fiore bails him out. Ex-high school hockey goalie uses his feet.
Lang running over Harbison, hands free. That one hit the pipe. That's some strength for
Roy Lang is like riding a bicycle without brakes. He will dodge himself into some scenarios that either go really well or really poorly. Watch Fiore with the foot. Didn't see it. His head and his eyes were not on the ball. At the other side, Lang takes it to the heart of that Virginia defense and ping off the iron.
Lang is staying out there, and he is really starting to emerge. Back when he made the trip east, then Cornell coach Jeff Tambroni really didn't lower the expectations. He said this guy could be the next Joe Balukas, the next Max Seaball, two of the greatest midfielders in recent history at Cornell. And now he's really starting to show that talent, living up to that potential. Now a junior. This is Pinnell up top. Quick movement. Lang inside, gets doubled. Pinnell there doing some dirty work, scooching it out to himself. Nick Williams throws the check and takes it away. Look at Pinnell hustle after Gittleman, and he loses it. Great hustle by the best player in the country.
2 turnovers for Gittleman. They give him a moment to get back between the pipes.
Under 5.5 to play.
Virginia packed into their zone. It's a straight 3-3 zone.
LaPierre out there as a short stick, along with number 25, Blake Riley.
If you're Cornell, you want to attack the gaps, draw 2, and move it.
Wow, in trouble, moving out. Now does he find the open man? Catch made, shot made, wrong side of the net. Mock there for Cornell. Quick feed inside. Lau can't get enough on it. McWilliams picks it up.
Excellent job by the Cavaliers on defense to collapse the crease after that first Lang shot.
Now Briggs. See if Virginia, with that first midfield group, tries to attack. Now they go behind with Stanwyck. Quentin, you saw Steele Stanwyck in practice yesterday. You've seen him so far for the first quarter. You're not a doctor, but how would you gauge him there as Emery looking to get his hands free? That shot's blocked. And Lang picks it up. Where would you say Stanwyck is percentage-wise after going through a couple of injuries in the regular season?
He claims that he was at 80% last week against Bucknell. To me, it looks more like 90 today.
Here is Jack Dudley finding the middle. Mock on the move. Off-ball play makes it 4-1.
Check that number 16, Mark.
Could get ugly early for Dom Starsia and his defense. Ground ball dominance by Cornell in their defensive end leads to this rush. It shouldn't be an odd man rush, but Dudley finds the left-handed cutter, an accurate pass, and a great finish by Mock. Cornell strikes in transition.
Ben Johnson, number 37.
One way you stop a run is by winning faceoffs. Right now, 3 straight by Cornell. Danger time early on Long Island for the Cavs. Another faceoff win by McMichael as he scooches it back. I spoke too soon. LaPierre. I don't know about that call, and neither does the Virginia bench.
You think about how big a loose ball push is in a playoff game. It's innocuous in the stat sheet, but that's a huge possession. It's a Chris LaPierre fast break, or meanwhile a Cornell possession here late in the first quarter.
So Quint, for the young players watching, why was he whistled there? Why does Cornell have the ball and not Virginia going the other way?
A push from behind with a loose ball.
Textbook ground ball play to my eyes, but no one asked me. So now Cornell looking to continue the momentum here in the first quarter.
You did a game last week between Hofstra and Johns Hopkins. A similar call was not called and was a big turning point in that ball game.
Phil Castronova coming in off the box, picked up a ground ball, led to a fast break, shot from outside. And Quinn is not just saying that because he spent 36 hours on the campus of Hofstra University hearing about that no call. Speaking of officiating, our officials today are Brian Abbott, Mike Hyland, and Tom Holland. Tough angle there. Pinnell gets a step, hands free. Shot gets blocked. Blake Riley. So the Virginia offense has been dormant in 6-on-6. How about transition? LaPierre, time and room. The coach said they needed a big game from the Shocker.
Tell you, LaPierre was an elite high school football player coming out of New Jersey. Big kid, 6'2", 215, can run all day. Textbook the way he plants that left foot, rotates, and gets a full body behind it. And a big goal here, under 3 minutes to go, keeps Virginia within sniffing range.
Out of Medford, New Jersey. Now the face-off violation on the Big Red. So Virginia looking to go on a little run here. For more, let's send it down to Mark Dixon down on the field.
Guys, on the Rob Emery shot, previous possession, that was Virginia's first opportunity in transition to go after the goal when they didn't have the attackman shut off to attack a short stick midi. When Emery came off the field, Coach Dom Starchy said, that's it, keep attacking. We saw the transition attack right there, the goal by LaPierre.
A rare sloppy pass by Stanwick, good ground ball work. Now Emery, saved by Fiore.
Best save we've seen so far. Both goalies shaky early. Fiore with a kick save, and then the crossover. The left-hander brings his stick off his left shoulder in front of his face to his right shoulder. Great hand-eye coordination.
Emery with one of the best shots in the business, even though he's just a freshman. Successful clear for the Big Red. You always want to win the final minutes of the quarters, especially if you're Cornell right now.
Clear number 50, Shane O'Neal.
And it looks like the Big Red will take a timeout to talk it over.
He was signaling timeout on the sideline, and now, yes, he does want it.
He is Ben DeLuca, the first-year head coach, former captain at Cornell, an assistant coach, now the head coach. He's in his 16th game. His counterpart is in his 445th. If Dom wins, that'll be a big headline. When we return, we'll take a look at some of the other major postseason headlines here in
Jordan Wolf and Christian Walsh, a lot of young offensive players going against that great Notre Dame defense. And then to our time finalists, we're down to 5. Jeremy Boltus, John Galloway, Rob Pinnell, Joel White of Syracuse, and Steele Stanwick.
2 of them on the field right now as we take a look at their numbers. The man in the middle most likely will win it. Rob Pinnell, 40 goals and 47 assists.
You talk about 5 young men who are just the ideals of college lacrosse in terms of academic success, success in community service, and of course what they've done on the lacrosse field.
You mentioned the talented senior class for Syracuse. Galloway and White will be on display tomorrow at noon on ESPNU against Maryland as we take a look at 2 of the best quarterbacks really in recent play in college lacrosse.
Both juniors.
Cornell ball.
90 seconds left here in the first quarter. Cornell coming out of a timeout. They have the first line out there. The ball's in the stick of Roy Lang.
Cornell rarely beats themselves. They pride themselves on winning the last minute of every quarter.
This is game 1 of the South quarterfinal. Cornell, the 2 seed, with the ball in white against the 7th seeded Virginia Cavaliers. This game will be followed by Denver against Johns Hopkins in a clash of lacrosse traditions. Eamon McEnany along with Quint Kesenick. Mike O'Neill thought about it. There is a keep it in warning, and Roy Lang was out of the box. Kind of interesting, they called it as the ball was going to him. The stall warning, Quint, once they put it in effect, you must keep the ball in the box. That was kind of a weird situation there.
It's that yellow line, and you see Ben DeLuca, who called timeout. That is frustrating. He's going to chirp to the officials right now. And talking to Warren Kimber, the chief assigner for these refs, that was a point of emphasis. You don't want to put the stall call on the team when there's a gray area whether the player's in or out of the box. That player deserves the right to understand what is going on as the ball's in the air towards him.
Emery has a step. O'Neill recovers. Now Briggs, he'll take it. That's a fastball.
How about that turnaround? A Cornell turnover and more high heat. All 3 Virginia goals have just been straight power shots. Fiore sits low in his left-handed stance. Briggs snaps that one right over his head. Bocklett, LaPierre, and Briggs, all cannons.
Briggs' father grew up on Long Island, played high school ball at Ward Melville, which is one of the best programs on the island. Then he moved to Rhode Island and started the youth league that Colin played in. Colin probably the 2nd best player to ever come out of the Ocean State, following former Virginia star Chris Rotelli. Virginia starting to pick it up at the X. Ince has a step on his high school teammate McMichael. Nobody there. Feely with the easy pickoff with 5 seconds left. With 3, Feely can't find Shane O'Neill, and that will do it for the quarter. So Virginia on the ropes early, but Ben DeLuca's squad let him up off the deck. A 2-goal run by LaPierre and Briggs has Virginia right back in this one. An early gift for Rob Pennell and Cornell, but now the sharpshooters for the Cavs starting to come alive.
Lee, Virginia looked like they were going to get run off Long Island, but LaPierre has been excellent so far, making things happen, flexing his muscles, and then high heat from Briggs. Back-to-back goals.
Now let's take a look at the Home Depot storyline, and the biggest storyline in this one, other than getting a championship weekend, Dom Starsia looking for career win number 327, which would pass Jack Emmer. He said last week having Coach Emmer in Charlottesville for him to tie it was neat. You know, he looks up to guys like Jack Emmer and Glenn Thiel and Ace Adams.
Star's career started in 1974. One of the first games he coached was right here, Hofstra Stadium.
He started at his alma mater, Brown.
Excuse me, he started coaching in '83, graduated Brown in '74.
His first game as a head coach at Hofstra against, interestingly enough, Virginia. That was one of his 118 career losses, though. And he said it was interesting this week. You have these conversations with every coach in every sport. They remember the losses a lot more than the 326 wins. Lang draws the pole of Chris Clements. Malfris way out on Pennell at the top of the restraining box. Talking to the Cornell coaching staff yesterday, they were expecting a little bit of everything on Rob Pennell. Lang going to his right, looking to get his hands free. Driving hard, hands free, not on cage, as Clements did a good job of harassing him.
Matt Rakowski is their offensive coordinator. Said they've seen basically every wrinkle this season as teams defend Rob Pennell in a myriad of different ways.
Now Lau straight out, good takeaway by the freshman out of Mountain Lakes, New Jersey, Scott McWilliams. That's about as clean a caused turnover you'll see. Now LaPierre, the one-man clear. Sends it up to Briggs. O'Neill coming. Briggs feels it. And gets it to Nick O'Reilly. So a change of personnel at the attack as O'Reilly goes in for Matt White. O'Reilly, a Nassau County resident. from Rockville Center, New York.
Cornell has been putting a midfielder on that third attackman for Virginia. Dom Starsia counters, says O'Reilly is a better ball handler.
Healy lowers the shoulder. Briggs, time, room, too high. Interesting talking to both coaches. The players cut a little bit harder when the ball's in the stick of number 6 or number 3 because they know he'll find you. Now Emery. Briggs being guarded by Noble. O'Reilly. Bronzino pushes him away. Emery draws the pole of Keith. Now Haldy moves it along. Haldy gets it back. Can he beat the short stick? Back to his left. Finds Emery. Catch and shoot. Fiore with another big-time save. He has 3, and all 3 have been spectacular.
Precise offense. Virginia got their look. Haldy draws 2. Cornell slides or double teams from the adjacent man, so it's a quick pass and shoot. Everything was good except for the shot location. Left side of your screen, Fiore will match up. You see Haldy draw 2, nice little pass. Fiore starts low and then shuts the door.
This is game 1 of 4 quarterfinal games on the ESPN networks this weekend. We will be followed today with Denver and Johns Hopkins. Gilbane, save, Gittleman. Previous with the pickup. Then tomorrow from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Syracuse returns to the scene of its last 2 titles to take on Maryland, and then Notre Dame against Duke. Those games will be seen on ESPNU, but right now, the man with 326 career wins wants to talk things over with his Cavs. He's looking to even this ball game up in the second quarter. A trip to Baltimore is on the line. Cornell leads.
Some men are men among boys from birth. Is this phenomenon due to superior genetics? Maybe. Can adding superior equipment to the equation help them become part man, part machine? Man-sheen? Oh, yeah. It's hard to put into words the dominance of this new breed of man, but we'll try. The competition is testosterone-owned by the new shooter cleats from Warrior.
You asked for it, America. Pizza Hut's $10 any deal is back. Any pizza, any size, any crust, any toppings is now just $10 when you carry out. That's right, the $10 any deal is back. But hurry in, this deal is for a limited time only. Only at your Pizza Hut.
Toward the net, he scores! It is a storybook ending for the Duke seniors. Cornell up by 1 with 11:41 to play in the first half, and there's a good look at the Denver Pioneers, who have made the trip east, and they will be on the field next against Johns Hopkins. And the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships continue tomorrow with quarterfinal action starting at noon Eastern on ESPNU. Then we have more softball regional action. Coverage beginning at 1 Eastern on ESPN. For more, visit NCAA.com. Your home for all 88 NCAA championships. We mentioned Denver against Johns Hopkins. That's next as Bill Tierney and Dave Petramala renew old ties. But tomorrow, Quinn, if I had told you in January or February that would be the championship weekend, that'd be a pretty good Final Four.
I tell you, all these games, from a top to bottom standpoint, the best quarterfinals that I can remember, and I've been doing this for 15 plus years. Destination Baltimore, a lot on the line. I tell you, this quarterfinal round defines your season.
High noon on ESPNU, Syracuse against Maryland. I remember doing the expert shows, and Jamie Monroe, Matt Ward, they all thought Maryland was the most talented and experienced team in the country, and they certainly looked like it last week against Carolina. But now out of the timeout here, Haldy has it. Sees the double coming. Moves it along to Briggs. Noble back out on him. Cockerton out there on top as well as he joins the first midfield group. So a new wrinkle here from Coach Starsia. They're shutting off Bachman by Langton. Number 1 looking to harass number 10. Doing a good job as Briggs gets it to Stanwyck, being guarded by Feely. So Cochran out there with this first group of Haldy and Briggs. Stanwyck looking inside, finds his man. The conductor of the symphony makes the band play.
Virginia goal, number 29.
Fans on their feet. They like the fancy finish by Nick O'Reilly, but I love when Virginia gets the ball to number 6. Feely weaves his way through the pick, but Stanwyck creates separation. And Cornell, a little bit too much ball watching. Staring at Stanwyck, forgetting where your man is. The behind-the-back shot in that instance actually increases the shooter's angle.
O'Reilly at Southside High School was the 2-time Nassau County Attackman of the Year, and Nassau County has pretty good lacrosse. So he was a big-time recruit for Dom Starsia. Tesorio wins it cleanly. Mock, there's a save by Gittleman. And McWilliams with another pickup.
Okay, Cornell last 8+ minutes. 5 shots, no goals, 2 turnovers. Offense has gone a little dormant.
And Virginia has the momentum and the ball. Now Clements in a little bit of trouble, gets it to Kugler. You have 30 seconds to get it in the box once you have possession, so Virginia better hurry up here. The officials counting. Kugler turns on the Jets. Now Kugler can't put it on Cage. Cornell wins the race. No, they give it to Virginia as we send it down to Mark Dixon.
Guys, right now, the Virginia huddles the last couple of timeouts have been very emotional, high energy, and you see it translating on the field. They've been able to frustrate the Cornell offense with multiple looks, one of which is Bray Malfors, number 30, shutting off Rob Pinnell. On the offensive end, they're saying move your feet. We can beat them with cuts, especially when number 6 has the ball.
And White beats his man with the ball, and Virginia has the lead.
Tell you, this is a situation where Ben DeLuca's defense is known for double teaming and sliding quickly, but sometimes teams will say, if we like the matchup, we won't double. They show there. The slide was there, but it was late, and it was taken at a poor angle. And I think White catches this Cornell defense not ready. I think they thought he was going to transition that ball up top.
White has really picked up his play late in his sophomore year, not just with the game winner last week against Bucknell. Big hit there by Noble, but LaPierre, full head of steam. O'Reilly, back to LaPierre. The 2-man game and a flag. They're going to wipe it out. Interference looks like it's going to be called here.
Brian Abbott's made a call at goal line extended, threw his flag up.
Flag on the play.
A major turn right here.
Okay, you got a 30-second technical foul. 3-1, that's interference. The guy was in the crease, so the goal was wiped off. 3-1 white, you got a 30-second, that's interference.
Mike Bronzino will push the Virginia player in the crease. And that's why the whistle blows, no goal. You see the crease violation by Virginia. But he was pushed in the crease by 31 White. It's a controversial call. There's many people in the game who believe that this should be a play-on situation. I'm one of them if it doesn't impact the play.
Somewhere some Maryland Terps are watching this game in their hotel room up in New England and saying they agree with you. That was a pivotal call a couple of years ago.
The defense benefits from committing that foul.
So now the man-up unit goes out there. Stanwyck goes up top. Ince, tough pass. Noble got a stick on it, and a Virginia player went in the crease all on his own, so a turnover on the extra man. Mark, what do you have for us down on the field?
Quint, you hit the nail right on the head. It was not a push call, however. It was interference on number 31 in White. He was more than 5 yards away from the ball. He made illegal contact with the Virginia player, which caused him to go into the crease, and you hit the nail right on the head. An offensive player cannot be in the crease before that ball crosses the goal line.
Mark Dixon knows his rules. Moonlights as an official in the Baltimore area. So now Virginia on defense. Cornell scoreless for 10 minutes and counting. Looking to stop this 4-goal run by the Cavs. Quint, you mentioned their shooting woes. How about the patterns they're running right now on the offensive set?
Virginia's done a great job mixing it up, changing on a per possession by possession. Pinnell forces that to a man who's blatantly covered inside, so a little frustration coming to the surface.
ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball continues on ESPN tomorrow and ESPN2 Monday night. First interleague play begins on ESPN Sunday Night Baseball at 8 Eastern as the Cubs head to historic Fenway Park to take on the Red Sox. Then on ESPN2, don't miss Monday Night Baseball at 7 Eastern as the Boston Red Sox start a 3-game series against the AL Central leading Indians. Major League Baseball on ESPN tomorrow and ESPN2 Monday. The Cubs got treated pretty rudely last night in New England as the Red Sox were all over them in Fenway.
What a day today for the clubs, whether you're a golfer or lacrosse. Excellent weather today and projected tomorrow. Foxborough should be a great day up in New England.
Aldi now being guarded by Trasolini. Stanwyck and Feely continue their game within the game.
Stanwyck winning the head-to-head matchup with Rob Pinnell right now. They both have 1 point apiece, but Stanwyck has been more impactful.
And there's some more impact, the two-man game. Stanwyck to O'Reilly. It's 5 straight goals for Coach Starrs' club.
Virginia offensive coordinator Mark Van Arsdale deserves a lot of credit. Without the Brattons in the lineup, they have to get creative. You see the up screen that was set by O'Reilly. By doing that, he gains leverage. He'll turn and then cut. So it's a pick and cut. Little two-man play from the wing. Cavaliers do an excellent job of clearing that side. And you've seen Mark Van Arsdale, offensive coordinator, use the picking game to generate matchup changes, separation, and create shots. This is a much different Virginia offense than what we witnessed during the first half of the season.
Remember Dom Starsia telling us at the end of last year, it always surprises him when these jobs open up around the country, and Coach Van Arsdale's name's never really prominently mentioned. What are people looking for in a head coach, other than a guy with his kind of experience and success? So Keith picks up the ground ball as the Big Red offense gets another chance to answer and get some momentum back as we approach 7 minutes left in the half. So far in this quarter, it's been 3 goals and 0 turnovers for the team in blue. 0 goals and 3 turnovers for Rob Pinnell and Cornell.
Virginia goes zone on this possession.
Langton with time and room, shot gets blocked. He's got LaPierre in the middle of the field. He telegraphed that one, and it almost gets picked off. Langton. Bronzino with another ground ball. He gets popped. Cornell looking for a high hit. Nothing called. DeLuca on fire. High hit to the head. You can see his gestures. Brian Abbott thought it was clean.
Brian Abbott didn't have the ideal angle, and the other ref was 40 yards away.
On the turn. You can hear it.
If it's helmet to helmet, it should be illegal. If it's glove to helmet or stick to neck, the neck and the head are off limits.
We saw a similar call earlier this year on Matt Lovejoy against John Greeley and Johns Hopkins. That one was called. So now White being guarded by Trasolini. He toasted him earlier for a goal. He gives it up this time. Now Cockerton gets it to O'Reilly. He's getting short stick by O'Neal. Advantage Virginia. Now they switch, so Stanwyck's being guarded by a short stick. Up top feed. Shot. Another save. Loose ball. Who's going to come up with it? 3 blue shirts, 2 white shirts. Bachlet scooches it ahead. Still loose. And now we get a whistle. Push on White.
Playoff intensity ground balls. That ball kicking around for about 20 seconds.
Kugler runs himself out of an angle. Good defense. Stanwyck puts on the brakes. 5 straight goals by the Cavaliers. Now Stanwyck. Feed, catch made, shot. And a save by Fiore. And there's a push.
Little push shot by Nick O'Reilly, left-handed. Fiore doing it all himself right now. Left side of your screen, watch the cut right down the alley. Talk about being wide open.
White has a step. Back to his left. Cross-field feed, open, shot too high. Kugler couldn't put it on cage. 5:08 left to play in the first half. That 4-2 lead by Cornell, a distant memory right now. Stanwyck with the fake. The post up. Everyone looking feed. He goes shot. It's 6 straight goals for Dom Starch's club.
One thing that stands out about Cornell's defense, undersized. Feely's only 5'11", 180. Stanwyck posts him up, backs him in, backs him in, backs him in, and just shoots over his shoulder.
He is our Sector Spider player portfolio, and right now he's saying, hey, don't engrave Rob Pennell on that Tewaaraton trophy just yet. I still have some games left to play this year.
Stanwyck's been bothered by a foot injury all season long. Did not practice much with the team in March and April. Missed the game.
Missed the Duke game. Had a bruised ligament in his foot. LaPierre, and then he got a calf injury when he scored the game-winning goal in overtime against North Carolina. Ryan Flanagan, the Tar Heel defenseman, fell on him. So the thrill of victory and the pain of victory. For more on Steele Stanwyck, we send it down to Mark Dixon.
Fellows, on our conference call this week, talking to Cornell coach Ben DeLuca, we asked him what to describe covering Steele Stanwyck. He used one word: daunting. He recognized last week that Steele Stanwyck put Virginia on his back, carried them to a win over Bucknell. And the junior Tewaaraton finalist is certainly putting on a show here so far this afternoon.
You mentioned the Tewaaraton finalist, the 3rd member of the Stanwyck family to be a Tewaaraton finalist. As Briggs gets a step.
Older sister Sheehan.
Bachlet can't put it on cage.
And older sister Coco.
Great players at Georgetown. Steele hoping to play on championship weekend in his hometown of Baltimore. Getting a step on Feely. Back to his right. Now he's underneath. Looking to post up again. Feeds out to an open man. Time and room. Emery. Tim Lincecum isn't the only guy in the Bay Area with some high heat.
Tell you, everything starts with Stanwyck. Cornell's got to change the way they're playing defense. Too easy for Stanwyck to post up his man, get to a good spot. Now, you're either going to double or don't. Too many guys on Cornell are in no man's land. They're not doubling to help him out, and they're not covering their own man. Watch this through pass right through the heart of the defense. Emery, catch, shuffle step, rip some rope.
Stanwyck has 1 and 3. Emery has a goal. He had 2 back in March. The Inside Lacrosse Face-Off Classic on March 12th. Rob Pennell was flat out unguardable early.
That's his game. Cornell played really well in the first half. Staked themselves out to a 1-goal lead at the break. But Virginia turned up the heat in the second half. Midfield scoring by Emery and Colin Briggs. Ramel Bratton, little exclamation point. Second half dominance by the Cavaliers. It was a game that Cornell, uncharacteristically, 6 penalties in the second half, a lot of turnovers. Cavs ran him off the field.
Strong second half effort. Now Virginia's come alive in the first half. We're going back to Rob Emery out of St. Ignatius in San Francisco. His high school coach, Chris Packard, a Cornell grad, a Long Island native, made the trip all the way from San Francisco to Long Island to watch his two former players face off. ESPN is the home of the Western Conference Finals. Tonight, the series moves to Oklahoma City as Kevin Durant and the Thunder host Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavs in Game 3. The NBA playoffs on ESPN, home of the Western Conference Finals. Tonight at 9 Eastern. Coverage begins at 8 Eastern with Kia NBA Countdown. The game is also available online at ESPN3.com and on your phone. That series all even at 1.
While the Cavaliers' offense is clearly clicking, most surprising to me, their defense. They enter this round with the 38th ranked defense in the nation. Statistically, the worst defense of any of the quarterfinal teams. What they've done thus far on Cornell is unbelievable.
So Cornell has the ball. Mark Dixon was in their huddle after the goal. Let's hear what he has to say.
Not surprising, the Cornell Big Red are still cool, calm, and collected. Defensively, they just talked about their assignments and playing areas and just moving their feet better. Offensively, they say they have to be ready for anything, skip passes against the zone, overloading a side, and if Malfris shuts off Rob Pennell, just picking a matchup and going hard to the cage.
Pennell finds O'Neal. Good closeout defense by Chris Clements. Now Lang.
Previs held the edge as Pennell pushed the corner, and then the rest of the Cavaliers in blue really condensed into the paint.
Here's Lang. 2:45 left. Now Lau comes up top. Time and room. That one hit the crossbar. The rebound almost goes in. And Mock. They started celebrating, but that did not go in. Now a loose ball. LaPierre picks it up. LaPierre turns on the Jets. LaPierre has Hill, the trailer. He gives it back up to Stanwyck, who makes the extra pass. That's why they call it execution. A huge two-goal swing here on Long Island.
I mean, you talk about a game of inches.
He's outside.
Jack Dudley,
The second one is outside.
Cornell's number 22 in white, rips this one, has Gittleman beat, ricochets off the post. Shot hits the side of the net. Next thing you know, ground ball comes up to LaPierre, and look at Virginia make the extra pass, sharing the ball, matriculating that ball down the field. And Stanwyck kind of fakes the shot. One more offensive communication. Bachlet's money in the bank. A gorgeous team goal. You talk about addition by subtraction. Many people said, what would this team look like without the Brattons? They look better on offense.
Stanwyck already with 4 assists. He had 5 in the overtime victory against Bucknell, including setting up the game winner by Matt White. Coach Stars, you told us when you see Steele Stanwyck and Rob Pennell play, you will see guys who play with their heads up, always thinking of setting up their teammate, and that has been on display right now. Ben DeLuca's Cornell squad is on the ropes right now after having an early 4-1 lead, 8 straight by Virginia here in this South quarterfinal game. Eamon McEnany along with Quint Kesenick, the winner, advances to Baltimore in championship weekend. Virginia has made it 3 straight times, Cornell twice. And what a first half already for the man of steel.
Press in the corner, eyes up. Finds O'Reilly on a cut. Look at him. He, you know, one thing when we talk to Dom Stars about Steele Stanwyck, talks about his hands, his feet, and his eyes. Look at his eyes. Looking right into your living room, and that's why he can find Emery making good decisions in transition. Fundamentally as sound as it gets. That ball is right up in that box area for you to handle. Interesting, he's one of the only players in college lacrosse now still using that old school leather pocket. He's got 5 points.
He had 8 a week ago, and we'll get into that pocket story a little bit later, because coming up on the Warrior halftime report, Anish and Paul will look ahead to Denver against Johns Hopkins. Paul Carcaterra will have a first half breakdown, and we'll have a Warrior pro session. But Quinn, you know a little bit more. He's got his own stringer at home taking care of that stick.
His dad, Wells, strings his pockets. Spends a lot of time when he's flying down to Charlottesville or work. It takes him 6 hours to string that. You see the leather pocket, number 6 in blue. Most other players use a mesh pocket. Leather gives you a better feel for the ball. It doesn't react as well in the weather as us old schoolers know. But you'd think it would be more popular because of Steele's success.
Quint, we were on blowout alert at 4-1. Little did we know it would be the other way.
Well, it's been Virginia's defense to me. Stanwick domination at one end, but Virginia's defense. You know, Bucknell riddled that defense last week. Got great shot after shot. Took 40 shots.
So now both teams out of timeouts here for the final minute 48. You hear Dom saying, get it behind again.
Yeah, Dom just says, get me to halftime, gentlemen, up 9-4.
He wouldn't mind 10-4. O'Reilly being guarded by the short stick of Shane O'Neal. Getting a pick. No switch.
An offensive group willing to play team offense now.
No stall warning yet as they go out and challenge. Here it comes. Once they get it in the box now, they have to keep it in the box. As Keith all over Emery. They're shutting off the attack. White looking to get open, and he can't. O'Reilly there, though, to bail him out. Again, they still have to keep it in the box.
Shrinks the field, but you see Stanwick with a hand up, communicating to his teammates, directing things from the crease area. No shot clock in college lacrosse. You want to attack in about 12 seconds. Give yourself a chance to make a play off a rebound, but make it almost impossible for the other team to counterattack.
30 seconds and counting. Again, Virginia out of timeouts. Stanwick going to set a pick. O'Neal fights through it. Bachler makes the catch. Just like they drew it up. 10-4. Is it over and out?
Bachler is the assist to number 29, Nick O'Reilly.
A usually intelligent Cornell defense is being dissected. Pick on the ball. Simple little screen inside. And here you see the left-handed cut. Poor communication inside by the guys in white. You've got a switch on this pick call. Right here, keep your eye up, top of the screen right here. You'll see a screen set right there and a left-handed cut off the shoulder. Excuse me, Bachler kept that ball in his right hand, his strength.
Bachler with a hat trick already in the first half.
But Virginia offensive players who are doing a great job without the ball, whether it's picks or cuts or occupying defensive men.
Ince working hard at the X. But Lang comes up with it, checks the clock with 10. Roy Lang with 7, fighting through, still has it. There he loses it. Pass upfield. The shot will not make it. But what a run at the end of the first quarter and all through the second quarter. Rob Pennell did not see much action thanks to that man and that man's defense. All Virginia right now on Long Island. Bachler has a hat trick already. Virginia up by 6. Let's go down to Mark, standing by with head coach Ben DeLuca.
Coach DeLuca, you were up 4-1. Virginia goes on a 9-0 run. What was the turning point in that first half?
Well, I think we just got our work on the ground a little bit there, and pretty much everything that could have gone wrong in the defensive end did. We haven't done anything that we've asked our guys to do in the game plan, and got away from what we were trying to do. So, credit to Virginia. They came out, they played well, and they found the back of the net more often than we would have liked.
Coach, thanks for your time. Good luck in the second half. Eamon?
Ben DeLuca and the Big Red need to regroup. Bachler has 3. Stanwick has 1 and 4. The 7 seed is moving in on upset alert. Dom Starja moving in on history. Let's go to Anish and Paul in the studio. 9 unanswered goals by the Cavs. Bocklett has 3. Stanwyck with 5 points. Tesoriero against Ince. Ince can't pick it up. Bronzino does. And take a look at our impact player update. Rob Pennell with that 1 goal that was a gift. He's been quiet since, and Steele Stanwyck. What a performance number 6 put on the heels of his 8 points a week ago. Face-offs even. Cornell was dominating that early, just like the game. Shots on goal, all Virginia.
Virginia +7 in the ground ball category. No turnovers in the second quarter.
Cornell found Mock, good trail check, couldn't get anything on it. Hit there, no call. Malfris sends it way down to an open man, but O'Reilly can't make the catch, and it's a Virginia turnover. So we saw Pennell there again, continuing to get teammates involved. When does he keep it himself? When does he just put his will on this game?
Virginia is really collapsing the adjacent men. So when Rob pushes that right-handed corner, he's got his man and then the adjacent 2 defenders. What Cornell needs to do a better job of is moving without the ball. We've seen that from Virginia today. Anytime Stanwyck handles, you're seeing picks and cuts. Guys changing the roles of their defender. There's only 1 ball, 6 players on offense. Great players will learn to play without it and keep moving.
So a early defining moment for the young coaching staff of the Big Red. This game will be followed by Denver and Johns Hopkins tomorrow on ESPNU. Another high noon face-off between the top seed Syracuse and Maryland. And then Notre Dame and Duke in a rematch of last year's overtime championship game.
The other thing, Eamon, you know, we put a lot of stock in number 3 in white, Rob Pennell, but who else has been able to get to the goal? Who else is even remotely a threat today?
Time, room, save, Gittleman. Thought about the outlet up the middle, then he takes the more conservative route.
And Roy Lang has penetrated and turned the ball over, but nobody else has shown that they want any part of winning their matchup.
Gittleman has 5 saves as we send it down to Mark Dixon.
Had a chance to catch up with Dom Starsha coming out of halftime, and quite simply, guys, he said we couldn't have scripted it any better after some early offensive struggles. They've shot well, they've shared the ball, and defensively, to Quint's point, they have changed their looks, and not only are they neutralizing Rob Pennell, but he feels they're doing a good job of confusing the rest of the Cornell offense. But he did say, we didn't come all this way and have all these struggles this season just to beat Cornell for 30 minutes. There's a lot of lacrosse left to be played.
Stanwyck up top to Emery. O'Neal on him as he loses it. 4 white shirts. And Keith picks it up, gets it to Feely.
It's a good call, Eamon. As soon as that ball hit the carpet, you see the white jerseys just swarm.
So the drought continues as O'Neal tries to get it in the box. He gets it to Dudley. Now Malfris goes way out on Pennell. Pennell had 4 goals, 0 assists in the first meeting. Trying to draw the flag, and he does. So a free possession right now for Rob Pennell and Cornell as Bray Malfris is going to the penalty box when this possession ends, unless it's a goal. As long as they keep it in the box, they will hold on to the ball, unless they put it in the back of the net.
See how quickly the double.
No double, he goes right in. Still in, Lau keeps it in, so the possession continues. O'Neal, Lang, tough angle, gets a better one, low to high.
Cornell goal scored by number 48, Roy Lang. The 32nd hold was wiped out on the goal.
Holding call is wiped out. The little plays make the big difference. It's a flag down situation, so it's a play on. That play right there is a tremendous job. I tell you, the ball's rolling out of bounds, and David Lau saves it for his teammate. Lang's a natural lefty from San Francisco. He is not afraid of the middle of the field.
I told you their high school coach, Chris Packard, made the trip to see Roy Lang and Rob Emery. Their younger brothers, Joe Lang and Matt Emery, also going cross-country for this showdown. And those are two players we've been told that you will see at the Division I level when their high school careers wrap up. So a contingency from San Francisco making the trip, and that was obviously a goal the Big Red needed. They went the whole second quarter and almost the final 4 minutes of the first without putting one behind Gittleman. Now it's a 5-goal ball game, and they play make it, take it right now. Pinnell has a short stick on him. Advantage, Rob Pinnell. Looking to feed, head always up. Now he's got time and room from Montauk. That shot got blocked. Cornell has the backup, so it'll start in the stick of Stevie Mock. One of 8 Long Island residents on the Cornell roster. Now Previs goes out on Pinnell. Wow. Dudley looking to feed inside. Again, it's Pinnell up top. What does this defense look like to you?
Right now they're in zone.
Skip, Lang, barreling in, stays out of the crease. Pinnell thought about it again.
He's got to get to about 13.5 yards to let that one rip.
Now Mock to Pinnell. Lang. What a save by Gittleman on the quick stick.
That was Cornell's best look against the zone. For the first time today, you got the feeling that we know where the soft spots of this defense are. And if you look at the left side of your screen, it's Pinnell. Lang stuffed from point-blank range. A huge save by Gittleman. Change the levels of your shots, Eamon.
He has 6. Stanwyck with the cross-field pass. Coach Stars is saying he has played a monumental role as this defense and this team reinvents itself on the fly. This senior class coming in with so much attention, so much publicity, wanting to make it back to championship weekend and win a championship before they graduate. This is game 1 of 4 games on quarterfinal weekend on the ESPN networks. Virginia with the ball and a 5-goal lead on the second-seeded Cornell Big Red. This game will be followed by Denver against Johns Hopkins. 2 tickets to Baltimore being punched on Long Island today. Eamon McEnany along with Quint Kesnick and Mark Dixon. This game started off all Cornell. Big Red with a 4-1 lead. Virginia dominating the second quarter. Stanwyck, White to Stanwyck. The attack is rolling for the Cavs.
Virginia goal scored by...
I am so impressed with Virginia's off-ball play on offense today. They take 4 guys, put them in kind of a spaghetti formation away from the ball, leaving this as a 2-on-2. White's confidence has soared late in the season, shaking and baking. Watch this move, draws the eyes of the defense, and once again, Cornell ball watching, and it's Stanwyck on the backside. Little catch and finish. He did nothing. That was all White creating from behind the net.
The Cavaliers have scored on 5 of their last 6 shots. Offensive efficiency, to say the least.
Shooting about 50% on the day.
Tesoriero wins it forward. Tesoriero right down Hempstead. Turnpike makes a pass. And the answer. Mock has 3.
Virginia wing play. Dom's Coach Stars has got to be kind of kicking himself on the wings here. You want to take one of your wingers and cut this fast break off. With a lead like this, you got to be thinking a little defensively on the faceoff. It's not the time to stop playing offense, but if they don't score in transition off a faceoff, it certainly gives you a better chance. And I think you'll see Virginia readjust the angle of their wingers.
Mock with 3 hat tricks in the tournament last year. He has 1 here now today. Another face-off win for Cornell.
With the faceoff.
Lang sends it over to Pinnell.
It's a Cornell team early in the season that was not a very good second half team. They'll have to be a great second half team to win this ball game.
Just saw Coach DeLuca run over to Tesoriero and pat him on the head, remind him that he's playing a big role right now and they're going to need him at the X with under 8 to play in the third. This is Gilbane. Now Lau from up top, taking a run at LaPierre, draws the slide, can't find the man in the middle, and it's a turnover. Nick Williams smooth on the ground ball pickup.
I'll tell you, Lau has been erased effectively. Cornell's second leading scorer, 28 goals, 18 assists. He's got 1 point.
Nice job, buddy.
Virginia heads the other way. Hill will send it behind. They have Briggs and Haldy out there. Emery soon to follow. Virginia with the ball and a 5-goal lead. Their coach with a chance to make history. More importantly for this team, a chance to keep the season alive. Emery, nice hesitation. Fiore read it all the way.
Not the shot you want if you're on that Virginia sideline. You're working too hard on the defensive end to give Fiore such an easy stop.
O'Neal. Now Mock. Pinnell says, hold up. Let's get the right personnel out there. Mock says, let's go to the goal. Now Pinnell with Malfris out on him.
Pinnell's got to understand that the time is now.
So Lang being guarded by the short stick. Driving to his right. Peels out now and sends it back up top to O'Neal. O'Neal being guarded by Briggs. Looking to run by him. Finds Dudley. Dudley lefty right into the breadbasket of Gittleman. If Emery's was too easy, so was that. Malfris sends it back to Gittleman.
Virginia in a man-to-man defense. It's almost as if they're changing every other possession from zone to man. But you called it, Eamon.
7 saves now for Gittleman. Too fast on that pass, and it's a turnover. The clearing game has been the one bugaboo right now for Virginia. 2 games here from Long Island today. Tomorrow we head to New England as the NCAA Lacrosse Championship continues on ESPNU tomorrow. 2 more quarterfinal games. First at noon Eastern, Maryland, Syracuse, Duke, Notre Dame. The NCAA Lacrosse Championship presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car on ESPNU tomorrow. I tell you, if CJ Costabile could work out residuals on that goal against Notre Dame last year, he'd be getting straight A's at the Fuqua School of Business down in Duke.
Talk about a storybook ending.
Pinnell still looking to feed against the zone as they pack it in. Who's your zone buster, Cornell? Now they jump out on the ball. Lang still looking to get inside. Step down, shot. Too far out. Now unsettled. McWilliams being active again. Malfris, good team play on the ground ball. But the pass tricky for Previs. Gets it back to Gittleman.
Malfris has held this team together through all the adversity that they've faced in the last month. A great captain is Bray Malfris. Wanted to change the culture and the image of Virginia lacrosse, enacting the toughest and strictest player rules ever. Brattons weren't on board, and that's why they're not here today.
Mismatch now as Lang goes out and guards White on the ball. Lang, a great athlete. As a freshman, he played short stick defensive midfielder. So we'll see what he does here on White. They try to switch. Now O'Reilly being guarded by O'Neal. A natural attackman being guarded by the short stick. O'Reilly gets the goal line extended. Haldy. So they get it to the quarterback. Feely comes out on Stanwick. Stanwick, head up, looking to feed. Back to his right, has a step, shoots. That one hit a pipe. Bachler can't come up with the ground ball. 3 white jerseys to 1 blue.
Fiore the save.
Fiore gets the save. I thought I heard pipe, but Fiore now has 7.
Stanwyck's agility and cutting much, much better today than we've seen from him, fighting through that foot injury all year.
This is Langton for Cornell, coming from inside the top of the box. Now Pinnell up top, they close out on him. Feed, catch made, shot. Gittleman got a piece, who's gonna win the race? Langton does. Virginia with a 5-goal lead with under 3 to play. Dom Starsia right now tied with our colleague Jack Emmer for the most career wins in Division I men's college lacrosse. You see the other men who have had unbelievable careers. Dick Garber, mostly at UMass, Glenn Thiel, Penn State, and of course Roy Simmons Jr. at Syracuse.
Coach Stars has appeared in 22 NCAA tournaments. That's the most. He's got 3 NCAA titles.
He's been the ACC Coach of the Year 8 times after he started his career at Brown at his alma mater.
Amazing to think that he didn't play high school lacrosse right here on Long Island. Valley Stream Central, went to Brown to play football.
Grew up 7 miles away from this field. You mentioned football, basketball, and baseball. Or his sports growing up. Just fell in love with the sport up at Brown. Now Langton taking a run at Clements. Moves it along. Lau, the top of the box. Now Pinnell looking for an angle. 2 minutes left. This is what a zone defense does to you, but there's a zone buster for you. Low to low.
Cavs are packing it in the paint. Pinnell, watch the footwork and the handwork. The hop step almost looks like a golf shot. The way that you get the hip turn and torque right off the hip and thigh area of Gittleman. Pinnell's on the board. That was against the zone, as you said, Eamon, from about 15 yards.
235 career points now at Cornell as he closes in on the great ones like the Eamon McEnany and Mike French. And that call goes against Virginia. Let's send it down to Mark Dixon.
That last offensive set, guys, Rob Pinnell was frustrated at not getting the ball on the first sequence. He yelled at his teammate, Scott Austin, said, "Give it to me." The second time around, when Pinnell had some time and room, they got him the ball, and Pinnell delivered.
Rob tried to go to the hidden ball trick there, but everyone had eyes on him and the ball in the flip, so Mock will have it behind. Now Pinnell goes and gets it. Being guarded by Previs. Pinnell. All eyes on him when he has the ball. Now Lau. Pinnell wants it again up top. Sloppy pass. 2-on-1, now 2-on-2. As Meltzer comes, picks it up, and finds the attackman. Transition now for Hill, but Lang is back. Noble all over him. Virginia wants a flag. They're letting them play today right now, and Briggs is there. The final minute of the third quarter. Virginia with the ball in a 4-goal lead.
Think about stick work, Eamon. If that pass to Dudley was on the mark, he had about a 7-yard shot. Meanwhile, Meltzer on the clear. What a gorgeous crossfield pass that was.
So now Virginia can hold for 1. O'Reilly being guarded by Lang. Lang logging a lot of minutes here in this quarterfinal. 20 seconds left. Emery, time, room, hit the crossbar, and it goes sailing into the stands. Souvenir here at Hofstra.
Another great look for Virginia attacking the weak side of the defense. That ball ricochets about 60 yards.
So 11 seconds left for Stanwyck and the Cavs. Does he keep it himself and drive? Looking for a pick from Haldy. Head up, finds his man Briggs. Save, Fiore. 1 second left. Briggs doesn't let it go. Cornell whittling away. Dom Starsia 15 minutes away from history. We have a good one going on Long Island. We're back with the fourth quarter after this. The NCAA Lacrosse Championship is presented by Enterprise Rent-A-Car. We'll pick you up. And in part by Sector Spider ETFs. Visit them on the web at sectorspiders.com.
Certain men tend to level the competition at every level of competition. They're alpha males. Is it because they're better equipped? Quite possibly. Is it because they're part man, part machine? They're man-sheen? And the other men on the field are effeminate by comparison? Obviously. Matt Danowski is effeminate, and he swings the new Evolution 3 from Ward.
Look outside. It's grow time. So let's plant some perennials that'll turn up every year. Trees and shrubs to give us depth, and fill it out with flowers placed in just the perfect place. Let's spend less, but plant more. What do you say we plant a weekend, water it, and watch a summer spring up? More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Right now, Roundup Weed and Grass Killer or Ortho Weed Be Gone Max is just $8.88.
This weekend, check out the Bass Pro Shops Go Outdoors event and sale and get huge savings at our stores and at BassPro.com. Like Redhead Destin sandals for just $24.97 and save $20 on the Coleman Blue Springs Family Dome tent.
At Dairy Queen, we don't stop at good enough.
We don't just give you milkshakes. We give you the best milkshakes in the country for $1.99.
And I'm not just standing here. I'm doing lunges over here, too.
The official online store at ncaa.com/shop is your home for college basketball merchandise. With over 100,000 items for over 500 teams, everything you need for the Sweet 16 and Final Four is in one store. Combine that with great customer service and flat rate shipping, and you've got the #1 source for NCAA basketball gear. Head to ncaa.com/shop for the best in college basketball merchandise.
From 30 seconds to Mars to 15 minutes from Baltimore as we take a look at our Home Depot storyline. Dom Starsia, a quarter of lacrosse away from Division I history, picking up career win number 327. Cornell went almost 23 minutes without a goal, and what a run by the Cavaliers there in the first half.
9-0 run. They've been shooting, during that run they shot about 50%, but in that third quarter you started to see a Cornell offense start to figure it out and start to make some progress against the Virginia zone.
Let's send it down to Mark.
Huddles had a chance to spend some time in both huddles, and the Virginia huddle, this is the most emotional I have ever seen Dom Starsia. He keeps stressing all the pain, all the struggles. We're here. Now it's our moment. Let's take it, let's grab it, and let's prove everybody wrong. I have never seen Dom Starsia in a huddle that emotional and vocal before with his lacrosse team.
Benacasa sends it back. LaPierre picks it up, and that was his theme to us throughout the week, what this team has been through.
Told us, yeah. The sacrifices that this group has chosen to make, they make basically their own team rules at Virginia. Enabled them to win that Bucknell game.
Steele Stanwyck putting on a show. Rob Pennell has been limited. And now White. Again, being guarded by his short stick. Tressolini comes out on White. Stanwyck looking to set a pick, so they make the switch. Now Stanwyck. White keeps it. White gets his hands free and beats Fiore.
Virginia goal scored by number 4.
He has 2.
The goal is unassisted.
Tell you, this Cornell defense can huddle all they want after goals, and you can try to remain positive on the sideline. The reality is that Cornell has not played smart defense. White beats his man topside from a pick. There's no help. The adjacent defender's too spread out. The shooter gets to the middle of the field. Very much looks like Cornell is slow to double team and slow to slide, leaving the defender on an island against White.
White was a guy who started to open the eyes of Coach Van Arsdale and Starjay in practice. Was not in the rotation really for that third attack spot, but every day at practice they're like, wow, Matt's really playing well. And then against Duke in the ACC, he had a hat trick. Of course, last week the game winner, and now 2 here today. And there's a whistle on the ground ball. It'll be Cornell ball. Mark mentioned the intensity and emotion that Dom showed in that last huddle. That was the message to his team at the end of practice yesterday. This is the game. Quint, that's been your theme throughout the week. When you win this one, you get to that big house, you get to the big stage. This is the one you need to win.
For programs like Cornell and Virginia, others we'll see this weekend, like Johns Hopkins and Syracuse and Maryland, you are defined by appearances in championship weekend.
I ain't thought about it.
It's the dream of every youth player in America to play in front of 65,000 in the big stadium. Sky Cam, national TV.
Wow. Tamar.
Virginia in the zone.
But Pinnell showed a little bit of frustration with that last shot. He's behind. Williams ready to go out and approach him. Sends it back to Mock. Now Lau. Step down opportunity for Lang. Works it to his left. Too high.
It's good offense. They drew 2 and forced the defense to rotate and had a numbers advantage on the backside.
13 minutes left in Cornell's season right now if it doesn't rally. Again, it's worth repeating, last week Virginia looked stuck in the mud, and it would be Bucknell moving on to Long Island. Somehow, some way, Virginia was able to come up with that game-tying goal, and then the winner in overtime. Here's a look. That shot got blocked. Gittleman gobbles it up.
Great closeout by Chris Clements, who's been a kind of a jack-of-all-trades in his career at Virginia. And an unsung hero on this team this year, starting out the year close defense. Now he's playing long stick midfield. He got his stick right on Dudley's hands as that shot was released.
30 seconds on the clear. O'Neal looking for the quick restart, and the referees say, hold on a second, we got to give the officials, the goalie, a chance to get back. So now Haldy will run off. Keith will run off. Pinnell wants it at the midfield. This is allowing Virginia to set up a ride. So now O'Neal.
That restart really benefited Virginia, having that delay of the restart. Able to get their defensive personnel on the field and able to get in the hole.
You know, Quint, for those who are new to lacrosse, we called the North Carolina game when we got the news that Matt Lovejoy was hurt. And to see Virginia come out in his zone, put that in perspective, Dom Starja and Virginia in his zone.
That would be like Oregon or Auburn football going to an option, a wishbone offense with 3 backs in the backfield.
Gittleman with another save as Pinnell is starting to launch.
And 2 tight ends. And running the ball 80% of the game.
Dom likes to go out and pressure the ball, and he told us this week, hey, I got to be honest, sometimes even I don't like to watch us on defense. I get bored. Twiddle my thumbs, having to sit back in the zone. But the personnel has dictated the game plan, and right now, the game plan is working.
And Cornell's defensive game plan right now dictated by the clock. They have got to step out on the perimeter and press these matchups.
Bailey pressing Stanwyck, looking for the ding-dong. He loses his man, so Stanwyck Tried to thread the needle, but it hit the stick of Lang. That'll be a pass, so it'll be Virginia ball. Steele Stanwyck down, looking like he has a cramp there.
Missed a lot. It's not a really hot day today. A little bit of humidity here on Long Island. But Steele has missed all sorts of practice in the last 60 days. His training and cardio has been spent on the bike mostly to avoid impact. That looks like a calf cramp to his right leg.
There it is there, trying to thread the needle. See him struggling right there. Coach Starsia could not emphasize enough the toughness that he showed last week. And he says, you know, that's not normally a word associated with Steele Stanwyck. Tough, but he certainly was last week in crunch time.
Steele doesn't look necessarily tough, but he plays tough. He's the ultimate sportsman. You'll never get any kind of mouth out of him either way.
So Cornell doubles the ball and gets the ball back. ESPN is the home of the Western Conference Finals. Tonight, the series moves to Oklahoma City as Kevin Durant and the Thunder take on the Mavericks in Game 3. The NBA playoffs on ESPN, home of the Western Conference Finals. They tip it off tonight at 9 Eastern, but coverage begins at 8 with Kia NBA Countdown. The game also available online at ESPN3.com and on your phone. So the officials huddle up, get on the same page, and give the ball back to the team in blue with under 11 to play. Briggs, full out right off the whistle. Good trail check by Bronzino. Feely with the ground ball. Now Bronzino in the middle of the field. Lau wants it. He lofts it over to O'Neal. O'Neal in transition. O'Neal puts on the brakes. McWilliams goes way out, but O'Neal is there as a safety valve. O'Neal to O'Neal. Sets up the Cornell offense with under 10 and a half to play. How patient can they be? Quinn, it seems that Roy Lang's the only midfielder that initiates offense so far right now for Cornell. He has the ball in his stick. Drops it off. O'Neal looking for an angle, gets it to Pinnell. Catch made. That one not on Cage. Who's going to get it? Good last-ditch effort there by Lau as he beat his former high school teammate to the ball as it went out of bounds.
This is a Cornell offense that enters the quarterfinals, ranked 3rd in the nation in scoring offense. See Duke tomorrow, they rank 2nd. Second half of the season, clicking on all cylinders.
Lang trying to go through too many sticks, loses it. Ground ball picked up by LaPierre. He is a vacuum. Dangerous pass, Lang there in freebie, but good recovery by Malfris. What a play. But now Cornell gets it back. Crazy sequence here, and Gittleman settles things down momentarily. He's about to get popped. Spin move by the goalie. He better get out of trouble, get a timeout. Dom Starsia bails him out. What a play by Bray Malfris, and then his classmate Gittleman. Roy Lang had another gift, but Malfris collapsed with the takeaway.
Get him some oxygen.
Get him some oxygen.
Get him some oxygen. Look at the big smile. You got the bad playoff mustache, but the really good smile.
There's the leader of this team. He laid it all out on this one.
Gittleman was an outstanding high school running back. Cold Spring Harbor, which is here in Nassau County on the North Shore. And Bray Malfris, I talked about it earlier, the captain of this team who was instrumental trying to change the image of Virginia lacrosse on campus. He said, with respect to Yardley Love's family, we have to change the way we behave. We have to change our image.
Virginia, 9 minutes and 27 seconds away from the victory. Dom Starsia, 9.5 away from history. When we return, we'll take a look back at the coach's legacy.
I love that this ringleader burger has grilled onions and an onion ring.
You love onions.
Yeah, because they keep vampires away.
Sweetie, I think it's garlic that keep the vampires.
No, it's onions. Ugh. Vampires are so pale and disgusting.
Well, have you ever actually talked to a vampire?
No, Phil. And I don't care to.
The ringleader loaded burger, onions and more onions. Get creative and make your own commercial at thisishowyouSonic.com.
Unlike conventional 3D, LG Cinema 3D has a wide viewing angle for greater viewing comfort. Experience the next generation 3D TV, LG Cinema 3D, for wider viewing pleasure. LG Cinema 3D glasses are sensibly priced. For more fun, with more friends. Experience the next generation 3D TV. LG Cinema 3D. More people, more fun.
.27 left in the fourth quarter. Dom Starsia closing in on history, looking for NCAA title number 4 with Virginia. It started at Brown, but then he moved south to Charlottesville, Quint, and nothing but success for Dom and the Cavaliers. Title number 1 coming in '99.
This was a group inspired by a great senior class. Starsia's first national title after some horrific overtime losses in the finals.
Then in '03, A.J. Shannon led the way with 4 goals, but Tillman Johnson was the star with 13 saves. The 9-7 win over Johns Hopkins. And then our colleague, Matt Ward.
Domination, undefeated team of 2006, not even close. One of the better teams that we've seen in the last 20 years of college lacrosse.
You take a look at their resume, but it's interesting that if you had said someday that day in Philadelphia that they wouldn't win a title for the next 4 years, you probably wouldn't have taken that bet.
Yeah, you know, I talked to Gary Gill, who sent 3 sons to play for Dom Starsia over a 10-year period, Connor Gill being the most notable. And he said, you know, having Dom in charge of his sons, he felt so reassured that Dom, as a leader of men, as a person, would take care of his kids. And I think that's all you want if you're a student athlete and you're a parent of a student athlete. Dom does it his own way. He does it a little differently than some. But you can't question the results, and you can't question the development of the young men that he's put out into the world.
A tremendous recruiter, but he and his staff have really had to coach on the fly this year. For more on that, we send it down to Mark Dixon.
Guys, you mentioned this senior class, ranked #1 by Inside Lacrosse 4 years ago. They've yet to advance to a championship game, but Dom Starsia said their maturation has astounded him. They're not obsessed with winning the championship like they were earlier in the season because they've made so many sacrifices and been through so much during their career. They've been humbled to move to the zone defense. And being the #7 seed in the NCAA tournament, they're used to being the #1 or 2 seed. They feel like they have the toughest road to Baltimore, and that, he feels, has given them an emotional advantage.
Here's Roy Lang. His message, he has told us this to his players every year, is enjoy the journey. Don't be so obsessed with Memorial Day and winning it all. This is a game that you love to play. Enjoy it. Enjoy the ride.
Yeah, the players who are obsessed with the results aren't on this team anymore.
I remember him telling me Michael Watson and Doug Knight, Hall of Famers, he now considers great friends. They didn't win it all. Catch made by O'Neal inside. Gittleman ready for it. 11 saves now for the senior. LaPierre turns back. That's a save that runs time off the clock. Emery now catches it on the run. Gets it in the box with 7:50 to play and counting.
Mark Van Arsdale signaling, guys, keep it behind the goal. Let's slow things down.
So now they come out and double the ball. Fiore comes out to guard a man. The net is open with 7:35 to play. Emery in trouble. Execution by the Cornell defense. Feely in the middle of the field. He gets it. He has a trailer with Keith. They have numbers. 2 long sticks leading the way. Feely looking for Pinnell. Pinnell, that pass picked off. Did it touch a Virginia stick? No. Carl Edwards will try for his 2nd straight nationwide victory, while new points leader Elliott Sadler looks to stand in his way. The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Iowa. Coverage begins tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern on ABC. Nick Williams. Over to Kugler. Keith on him. Fiore in the cage for now. Once it goes behind, he'll come out. He's looking for a guy to double. He will go get Bachlet, and they send it up top to Briggs. Quint, do you shoot at the net? when it's empty as Fiore runs back in.
Up 5, I may, yeah. But obviously, possession and time is more important at this stage. Bucknell ran into a similar situation last week and did not manage the clock or the score correctly.
So now Virginia's about to get a keep it in warning once Kugler brings it in the box. So Fiore jumps out on it. So they must keep it in the box, and that shot's blocked. So a wide open net, but the shot gets blocked. We go the other way. Lau looking to run by Mick Williams. Mick Williams. Now Lau back to his left. He has a man. Catch made by Trasolini and a lot of traffic. Pinnell's about to get smothered, but now he turns away. That shot gets blocked. Hawk comes up with a key ground ball. How many shots have been blocked today on both sides? Thread a needle, but Lau can't finish. 6 minutes left even.
Here's the empty net. Look at this defensive play by Cornell. Sticks, diving defenseman. You got 4 players selling out to try to block that ball.
So now Coach DeLuca with 5:57 left in the season calls a timeout. Virginia getting ready to head to Baltimore. Does Cornell have 1 run left?
When following the racing line, they drive the fastest man alive. Jump.
You gotta love Sunday. It's like everyone came together and said, if it's good, let's save it for Sunday. So here's to the $10 Sunday Bucket. 10 pieces, $10. Any recipe, any way, every Sunday. Sunday is a KFC day, and today tastes so good.
With matchups like Kyle Busch and Justin Allgaier, or Carl Edwards and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., this is about the future of the sport. This is today, trading paint with tomorrow. The NASCAR Nationwide Series at Iowa, tomorrow at 1:30 Eastern on ABC.
Virginia 5 minutes and 50 seconds away from a 4th straight trip to championship weekend, up by 5. And the NCAA Men's Lacrosse Championships continue tomorrow with quarterfinal action starting at noon Eastern on ESPNU. Then we have more softball regional action. Coverage beginning at 1 Eastern on ESPN. For more, visit NCAA.com, your home for all 88 NCAA championships. The action continues here on Long Island with Denver going up against Johns Hopkins in a clash of contrasting traditions. And then tomorrow on ESPNU, high noon, a game that many thought might be the championship game back in January and February. Syracuse, the top seed against Maryland.
Well, we had our preview show back in February, I think, Eamon. My 4 teams were Notre Dame, Maryland, Syracuse, and Virginia. Well, we know that